Von Miller from your Washington Commanders. Good morning, Von. How are you?
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
Hey, so, Von, before we start talking football, we just got into the side conversation about go-to McDonald's meals. Cakes is like a Happy Meal guy, and he does some weird bit. What is your go-to McDonald's meal?
You know me, I'm a pasture-raised chicken guy.
Well, I know that, but if you go to Mickey D's...
If you did a drive-thru, I mean, do you ever hit drive-thrus?
Man, I haven't went to McDonald's in, I don't know, years.
He's got to take care of his body, man.
I nailed that. I knew it.
Okay, take us back to when you were in College Station.
When you were still Busto.
You know that, I forgot whenever it was like a Supersize Me documentary.
Yes.
Or something
Yes.
And I think that came out when I was in high school.
Yeah. Okay. That turned you off?
That kind of did it for me.
I'm scared you turned out the guy was making it all up.
Yeah, it turned out the guy was a big liar.
He's also dead now, which kind of stinks.
Yeah.
So it wasn't true? It wasn't true?
He exaggerated a lot of the stuff. Yeah, it turned out to be a big debacle.
Okay, well, it worked on me.
Right.
I haven't had McDonald's in years. You know, I'm a green and pastures chicken guy, though.
Right. All right, so let's. I want to talk about the coming back from that game, disappointing loss. Obviously, what's been sort of the mood of the guys? You get another sack. By the way, I'm betting you're going to lead the team in sacks, even though you're going to play on average probably a third of the snaps.
I mean, that's cool, I guess. You know, I'm a 3-point shooter, so
yeah.
Whenever I get in there, I gotta shoot the three.
Right. You're gonna do that. I know that. I'm convinced of it. But what was the sort of the mood of the guys? Because it's gone. I could tell from the coach, at least this is my perspective. Who knows? He's probably kicking doors and screaming and everything. But it looks like he went from being super pissed off to almost a little resignation in the last week or two. Just the frustration. You can only be so pissed off for so long. What's been the mood of the guys?
Man, that's something that I never had to question. With the guys, everybody show up each and every day, trying to do their best. That we want to win. The outcome of the game hasn't been going our way, but you don't have to question the guys in the locker room or the coaching staff for sure. They prepare us. They have us ready to go mentally, physically, emotionally. The players in there, we do everything we can to go out there and win. It's just not going our way. In Madrid last week, we had an amazing week. And, sometimes weeks like that can do wonders for teams, and I think it did. Even though we didn't get the win, like we were able to bond and get to know each other a little bit more. I think everybody's a little bit closer after that week. Mm-hmm. We got to go to Real Madrid's practice facility and play at Santiago Bernabéu stadium, iconic stadium around the world. Everything was great. Even in the game we had some great defensive stops.
Right.
Had some great defensive individual efforts. Javon Kinlaw, he had an amazing game. Sometimes, those guys on the inside don't get highlighted.
Right.
But Javon Kinlaw, Eddie Goldman, those guys had amazing games. Defense had some amazing stops. I was able to scratch out and get a sack. I don't remember the last time I ran that fast. But I was able to get a sack, and just the outcome of the game just didn't go our way. But everything up until then was perfect for sure.
Hey, Vaughn, we saw the Bobby Wagner quotes about him basically saying, "Look, I don't really care about sightseeing in the city. We're going there to try to win a football game." But it sounds like your perspective is more like there was a lot of camaraderie, team building, bonding on the trip. Like, were you able to take in some of the sights in Madrid, or was it basically like you were saying, like training at the Real Madrid facility, team building type of stuff? It sounds like you were able to enjoy the trip.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see not one sight either. I didn't see not one sight, but I did, hang out with my teammates. We went to, a couple of restaurants, and that was just about it. I mean, I didn't, have time to sightsee. I don't even know what sights to go see out there. But the sight for me to see was, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of La Liga and the European League or Premier League, but I mean, I know those guys. It's hard to not know who, Ronaldo is or David Beckham or all these iconic guys that have played for Real Madrid. So that was the sight for me to see. It's just to witness their facilities and to play in, Santiago Bernabéu Stadium.
All right, so the narrative last week heading into the game was, Dan Quinn's taken over as defensive coordinator. The week before that, it was Joe Witt is moving from the booth down to the field. What has been the difference in coaching, if any? Did you guys feel it? Did you feel a difference because people are saying, well, you played better against the Dolphins. Maybe that's because Dan Quinn's calling the plays.
I'm not trying to, come off as negative or anything like that, but I feel like it was the exact same for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I didn't really, with Coach Witt being upstairs, I didn't, see a difference. Him being downstairs, to see a difference. Coach DQ calling the plays. I whatever the call that they give me, I'm trying my best to go out there and do it. I'm not focused on who's calling the plays or what position they had on the football field. Like, I'm trying to go out there and do my job to the best of my ability. And that's what my focus has always been. It's always been from an internal standpoint. What am I doing to contribute to wins or contribute to these losses? Like, I'm not looking out to see, like, maybe this guy should do this better, or maybe it always comes internally for me. And I think of our whole team is like that. So I think that's where that came from DQ. Maybe he was like, what can I do to help this team win? Maybe it's coming from an internal standpoint for him. But for me, it's always been, what can I do to make the team better? And on that sack that I got, I watched it probably 100 times. If I would have came over with my left a little bit, harder and kind of tomahawk, because Tua's left-handed, and kind of, because Tua didn't see me coming at all. If I was able to just knock that ball out, I had Frankie Luvu running. He was telling me, and maybe they don't get a chance to get that punt off, and maybe we get the ball right there on that 30-yard line, and so I'm always looking at ways that I could contribute more, what I can do. It always comes from an introspective or internal perspective for me.
I have two questions that kind of pop into my mind regarding all that. First of all, when you go to the sideline, right? Like, but let's say the offense has the ball. Are you one of those guys that's like in the iPad looking at what you just saw? Or are you just talking to your players and your coaches, or just going through it in your mind? What is your process, let's say, when the offense is on the field?
Well, I've been playing football a long time, and this is what I love. This is what I love to do. I love football. I love every aspect of football.
Right.
From the weight room guys to the training room guys. Like, when the offense is out there, I'm watching the offense. But when I get the iPad too, that's the first thing that I do. I look at all the plays that I had, and then I do a little bit of everything. Like, I talk to all the guys. If it's something that I did wrong, I talk to the guys about what I did. If it's something that a mistake that was made by somebody else, I know for a fact that they're trying to win the game. So I never go over to guys and be like, hey, we got to do this to do that. Like, I know for a fact that they're trying to do the right thing. I just try to go from a mental standpoint. Like, hey, what happened? Like, what were we thinking on this play? And I talked to my teammates and my guys that was on defense the previous series. Then I'm watching the offense too. Like, I'm a fan of these guys. Like, we got Marcus Mariota out there. Like, I'm a fan of Marcus, and I'm a fan of Josh Connolly and Laramie Tunsil and all of these guys. So I see it from a defensive perspective. So I'm watching the offensive line. I'm watching the pass rushers out there. Chop Robinson and Bradley Chubb, those are my guys too. So I'm watching those guys rush, and so I'm watching the game, and I'm on the iPad. I'm doing a little bit of everything. Are
you such a guy? I know you said on your pod that you've already kind of decided that you want to play next year and hopefully here, but you definitely feel like you can do this another year. Are you a guy that will eventually settle into coaching because you love the game so much?
No, I mean, these guys are crazy, man.
The hours.
These guys are crazy, man. They don't listen either, man. I could be telling the guy the same thing the whole season. He don't do it, and that'll probably get us both fired. But he's gonna be before me though. He's gonna be before me though. I'm a front office guy. I feel like You know, team infrastructure is my thing. Player evaluation is my thing. I think, you know, all football players that have been playing, you know, this long have some type of talent evaluator in them. We've been playing football for so long, but for me, it's been something that I've been paying attention to and trying to posture, you know, myself into some role in the front office. You know, obviously, I'm not going to just jump right into being a GM, but I'm not going to jump right into being a contract guy either. You know, so it's got to be a unique spot for me to be in the front office and just kind of work my way through it to, you know, a place where I could, you know, make some great decisions, get some high quality guys into the organization.
Talking to Von Miller from the Washington Commanders, he's got 5 sacks on the season. Just going around the NFL with you because you love watching the league. Have you ever been spat on, and what would you do? Jamar Chase, of course, suspended for spitting on Jalen Ramsey.
How many games did he get suspended? One game?
Yeah.
Do you think that's light? That's kind of light for spitting on a guy, I think.
I mean, you know, if you look at it, like spitting is kind of like throwing a punch, I would say. Like, I think the NFL looks at it like that. But I've never seen so many guys spit on people like this. This is ridiculous. 2025 is ridiculous. I've never seen so many people spit or get spit at somebody or get spit on.
Right.
And you know, it's crazy. And I, you know, if you think about it, that's probably the most, when you get into it with somebody on the football field, it's probably the most disrespectful thing that you can do to that guy. You know, he's got a helmet on, and I don't think, you know.
What if he said something about his wife?
I don't think your mama jokes or wife jokes really hit that hard, you know. And if you throw a punch, you're hitting a face mask, you know. So I think, you know, guys, when they get in that mode, like they just, you know, I don't know. I don't even talk to guys out there, so I never get into that space. So this is just speculation for me. I really don't know where that comes from, but maybe it is the most disrespectful thing that you can do. And I guess when they get into it with guys and they get agitated with the other person, like they think about, you know, being as disrespectful as they possibly can.
At this stage in your career, do guys poke at you and try to get you to lose your composure, or does that typically not happen at this stage in your career?
Never in my career, my 15-year career, have I had any type of. Man, it was one tight end from Indy that I like ended the game, and he was like pushing me a little bit extra, and I like stopped, and like we was face to face, and I was telling him like, hey man, like I forgot what I was telling him, but Aqib Talib came over my shoulder and like poked him in the eye. Like that was the only.
That sounds like an Aqib Talib move.
Yeah, Aqib Talib came over my shoulder and like poked him in the eye and was like, back up, you don't know. Don't talk to Von like that. I forgot whatever the
Who was it? Dallas Clark? Who was it?
No, that was I forgot who the tight end was. Number 83 he works for NFLPA now, but you know, he's a great dude.
Is he wearing an eye patch? Is his eye okay?
No, actually, you know, Aqib really didn't try to poke him in the eye. He was trying to like poke him in the middle of the forehead. You know how guys like. But that's
pretty disrespectful too. Now spitting is the one seed, but like poking somebody with your index
like in
finger,
the chest or shoulder,
is pretty disrespectful too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I had that pacifier mouthpiece in, and I'm not a big talker, and I think guys kind of like feel that aura, that energy from me. Like I'm already trying to like I'm already trying to get as many sacks as possible. I don't think they try to motivate me out there.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, so Josh Allen your former teammate Josh Allen had a 6-touchdown game this week, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. I think he tied the NFL record with 75 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback. I'm guessing you're not surprised at all by this.
No, definitely not surprised at all. You know, like I always pay attention to the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos and the Los Angeles Rams, and you know, all 3 of those teams are doing well, and you know, I got love for all three of those organizations. They showed me love and changed my football trajectory. All 3 of those organizations, so I definitely pay attention to those guys. Definitely pay attention to Josh. You know, I still, you know, talk to, you know, Brandon Bean. You know, shoot him a message here and there, and talk to Josh and send him a message here and there. So definitely not surprised, and I would say that, you know, Josh definitely is satisfied with that. I know he would look at that film and say he should have had 7 or 8 touchdowns. So
Well, he did throw an awful interception. He did throw an awful interception where he tried like a two-handed like shovel pass for 10 yards that got picked off.
Yeah, so I'm sure, he'll look at that film and say it was things that he could have did better. With 6 touchdowns, it was amazing. And they got a squad over there. James Cook is having an amazing year too. Defense is having an amazing year. Bills Mafia, shout out to Bills Mafia.
Hey, Von, enjoy the bye week and get rested up, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
Von Miller from your Washington Commanders. When we come back, we're going to give you a chance to win 2 tickets to go see Matt Rife's comedy tour when it comes to Capital One Arena next spring. So keep listening for your chance to win.